Welcome to Big Time Paranormal. I am your host, Larry Gonzalez. I'm just kidding. Anyway, welcome. Like I said, I am very pleased that you are here. We have a lot of news going on, so we'll go ahead and get started right away. Now, last week I originally had a story about a chupacabra, but unfortunately when I recorded it and then when we went to edit it, a lot of the sound got garbled and a lot of the dialogue got lost, so we had to scrap it altogether. I'll review the story a little bit. It was about, this was in Puerto Rico. A farmer and his nephew, the farmer, his nickname, I can't think of his nickname, but anyway, it was very humorous. I remembered. Anyway, there was a incident when they were actually, him and his nephew was out real early in the morning, and they saw something. They were out there checking out the cows and stuff. The road that they were driving on was out in the country, and they saw something run across the road, and it appeared to have red eyes. They thought maybe it was a cow, but they just couldn't see it because it was too far. So they drove up to where it was. They didn't see nothing, and then they turned around and hit the truck, got the truck, and started going back the other way. They saw it again, except it looked like a small creature crunched over, and it had red eyes. So of course the guy said, "Grab me by machete," to the nephew, and he grabbed the machete, and they start chasing this thing along the fence line. And the chupacabra was able to go underneath the fence, and he went over the fence to keep chasing it, but eventually they lost track of it. A couple of days later, they found a horse, a couple of the mares drained the blood, and some other animals. So that's very short of the story that was last week. Now this week, there's another chupacabra story in Puerto Rico, and this one was originally it happened on March 30th, but it was recorded officially a couple of weeks ago. This one, I've heard of chupacabras running and the red eyes. They look kind of like little lizard creatures and stuff like that. This one, it's a little bit different though. This guy, his name is Mr. Diaz, and he was driving along about 6:15 in the morning, and there was another car in front of him, and he saw the car swerving around, and all of a sudden at the last second he saw this thing come at him on his car, hit the grill, onto the hood, and right up the windshield. And he was able to pull over, and he asked the other guy, "Did you see that?" And the other guy said, yeah, I don't know what it was. And so they started talking about, and the way they described it. Now again, I've never heard of a chupacabra having wings before. So this was interesting to me that they would call it a chupacabra and it would have wings. According to this description, the creature had a broad face like a pit bull terrier. It had a short snout with a nose resembling that of a dog. Its eyes were small, human-sized, but completely dark and glossy. Maybe it was smoking pot. Anyway, it had something like ears on either side of its head. It had no feathers. Its skin was like a bat's, and although he thinks, Mr. Diaz, it may have been hair, it was short and smooth along the body. The creature was black or dark brown in color and seemed to have arms aside from wings. It is to say it had 6 extremities, 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 wings. Its feet appear to have multiple toes with claws and extended wings resembling those of a bat. So again, chupacabras, like I said, I've heard all kinds of descriptions. This is the first time I've heard of it having wings. That's kind of scary because a blood-sucking chupacabra. Yeah, anyway, I'm not going there for vacation. At least not in that country. especially glossy eyes. Anyway, now we're going to go more into technology. This week we have a lot of stories when it comes to technology. Everybody's heard of the breathalyzer, where if you appear to be drinking, you get pulled over by the city police, sheriff, highway patrol, or whomever, and they suspect that you're drinking. They'll pull out a little device and you blow into it, and it'll let you know if you're basically drunk or not. Well, this has existed since the 1960s, and since then they've been trying to perfect the idea of being able to detect drugs, and it's been very hard for them to come up with it. Well, they're on the verge of actually perfecting one. The one that they have been working on is going to be also it'll be able to detect like marijuana, cocaine, anything else. It's not perfect yet, and there's still other drugs that they want to be able to pick up when they do the breathalyzer. So that's going to be really huge in the law enforcement. So when that will happen, I don't know, but again, that's something been in the works for a long time, and I don't blame them. I've seen too many things on the road as a truck driver. Now this story comes from Japan. Now, to go to show you how advanced the Japanese are with technology and so on like that, they have actually, let's see, this is it's a new display in Japan showing off what is almost certainly the best virtual try-on mechanism you'll ever see. So this is presented by Osaka's digital fashion company. And what it basically is, it'll be a big mirror. There's a video on it. And the person can go in front of it, and the clothing that they're interested in can be actually displayed on the mirror as if it was on them. So instead of putting on the outfits, taking out the outfits, and the thing is they could turn around and see how it moves on them, and it's three-dimensional and so on. So this is something that I can see happening throughout all the stores. Right now it's still experimental. But have you been to Walmart lately? There's some people that really need that magic mirror, and they go, "Oh, girl, what were you thinking?" Okay, to be fair, there's some guys like that too. Anyway, my wife dresses me. Now, a few weeks ago, I had a story about the three-dimensional printers that they're using. There was a patient that they scanned their skull to actually put a piece of plastic in place of their skull. And these 3D printers are something that's going to be the future. It really will be, because I spoke about it being a part of a jawbone. And they had this story, they actually showed someone with a new jawbone. Well, not a person, but they had it on a table. It was a artificial jawbone with teeth. Now, the reason I bring this up now is because there was another article about this again, that it is becoming more and more likely you're going to see this real soon in operating rooms. So you can imagine going into an operating room, and they're going to have tables set up where they're going to be able to print out whatever part of the body they're going to need to replace. And that's humongous, because my wife and I were just having lunch today, and we were talking to the young lady, and she was saying that her grandmother had developed bone cancer. And you can imagine if they're able to replace the bone with a 3D image plastic, whatever, to be replacing that bone, that could be huge. But this is something that is going to happen, and I am very excited about it because I know there's a lot of people. Now, part of the story was because I suffer from my back. I don't have it nearly as bad as a lot of people. There's a lot of people that they're on permanent disability because they can't walk. They have to use walkers, or they're in wheelchairs. Well, the new plastic 3D imager that they want to put in place. Oh, that's my clock. It's not a bird, it's a clock. It's a plastic clock too. But what happens is that the new imagers are going to be able to put a new. Thank you. Anyway, they're going to have these new plastic discs that they're going to actually be able to put in there to take the bone and re-separate them, put the disc in there, so you no longer have that grinding feel. And that is humongous. I can tell you because I've seen so many people, being in trucking, people hurt themselves from lifting too heavy an object or lifting wrong. That was me, lifting wrong. But like I said, I have nowhere as bad as some. I only suffer maybe once a year. So that is really exciting. The next story is going to be really exciting as well. The company Sony has developed a new 3D shooting binocular. It's binoculars, but that you could videotape. I'm old-fashioned. But you can actually start recording things with binoculars, like a camera, like a video camera. And it's, let's see, it's going to be the DEV-50V. The 30% smaller and lighter body and the new dust and splash proof construction. The old 7.1 megapixel sensor has been replaced with a 20.4 megapixel sensor that can shoot in ultra low light conditions, including at night. So for those of you that are into cryptozoology, UFOs and stuff like that, this is going to be huge, because not only are you going to be able to have night vision, basically, because it's so sensitive that you can videotape it while you're witnessing it. The only thing is, like any other technology, it's still very expensive. It's $1,995, so almost $2,000. But like I said, like anything else, the price will eventually come down. The first ones will be available this June, and just in time for, the beach. I mean, not the beach. Goes hunting. The waves over there. Anyway, so that's really exciting because, like I said, it's smaller, lighter. Hi, honey. Anyway, the next story is, have you ever thought about glow-in-the-dark sheep? Well, I actually never thought about it, but apparently somebody did. In Uruguay, they have experimented with they took some DNA from a jellyfish that actually glows in the dark, and they were able to successfully integrate it with sheep. Now the sheep look normal, they normal, all that normal. The only time that you notice a difference is when you actually turn on a black light to see them, and you actually see that they glow. Now, can you imagine if they actually glowed all the time? Imagine the freak out farmers that'll be out there. There's ghosts in the woods. I saw them, and they were going, bah! So, yeah. Now, the next story I came across I thought was rather humorous, because at first I just read the title. Egg laid by extinct elephant bird sells for 101 grand at British auction. Now, at first I thought, elephant bird. I can imagine. I'm sure glad they don't really exist. This was what I originally thought. Because I hate to be washing my car and all of a sudden, splish. And you hear this as it's going flying by, laughing at me. But it turned out to be something completely different. But anyway, this egg the picture of it is like from my shoulders, like that. It was huge. And they said it's that it fetched the weight was I'm going to have to edit this. Okay. Okay, so Christine's auto auction house this past Wednesday said that the foot-long, nearly 9 inches in diameter egg fetched for £666,675 English, or $101,813. It was valued at 20 to 30,000 pounds pre-sale and was sold. So anyway, this apparently the elephant birds were wiped out several hundred years ago. The oversized eggs laid on the island of Madagascar is believed to date back before the 17th century. So that, like I said, it was just incredible, the size of an elephant bird. But apparently the elephant bird could not actually fly. It was the size of an ostrich. Thank goodness. The next one, my wife actually found this story, and actually came across another story similar to it. Alien big cat roamed UK over 100 years ago. Evidence has surfaced that suggests the British alien big cats phenomenon is not a recent one. So people have been talking about they've been seeing large cats that are not native to the UK. Apparently they're not that easy to see or catch or whatever, and it's not unusual. There was a story I saw maybe a week ago that somebody saw the Tasmanian cat down in Tasmania, and people thought they had been extinct, but somebody saw one. So there's that. And then another article I saw this morning was about camels in the southwest United States, which I know of the story because before the Civil War, the horses and mules could not traverse the deserts. So somebody got the bright idea of bringing the camels to the southwest, Texas and stuff like that, because naturally they can withstand the heat in the desert of the southwest. Unfortunately, when the American Civil War broke out, the camels were kind of left on their own, and some were sold to zoos and stuff like that. But there's talk that people have seen camels out in the southwest, but it's not something that you normally see. So the big cat, alien big cats of the UK is not, from Mars. They're talking about cats that are not indigenous to the UK. So that's the news for this past week. Upcoming conventions. Okay, now we have some new ones, and these are all ones that my wife found, so I got her doing research. She's just not a pretty girl. She does research. The first one that she found was the Florida UFO Symposium. This will be at the Chateau Ellen Hotel and Conference Center in Sebring, Florida on May 10th, 12th of this year. The event is hosted by Peter Robbins, well-renowned author, artist, lunch, artist and UFO researcher. The price for this is $125 per person. Now, what do you get for $125? Well, they're going to be talking about the movie about Betty and Barney Hill. This is going to be followed by Q&A with their niece, Kathleen Murden. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And those of you that know the Betty and Barney Hill story, and I'm not talking about Betty or Barney Rubble, but Hill, one of the most famous cases of ufology. And I really, really believe this happened because, Betty had drew this map of a star system that had not been found yet. And it took a long time before astronomers actually found the system. It was exactly the way she drew it. There's some other things that went on. I know there was a movie with James Earl Jones that was done many, many years ago. So, and I hear that they want to remake it as a regular, another feature film with it. So that's going to be part of it. They'll also have buffet dinner speakers Saturday night. Oh, I'm sorry, that's sold out. That's what I get for being behind. So I try to find things. But there will be a Skywatch Saturday, May 11th there as well. So they have some things going on there. Of course, the websites will be down below each time I report on these things. The next convention is, I'm going to butcher this, but I'm trying. Welcome to McMinimins. That's McMinimins. 14th Annual UFO Festival at Hotel Oregon. Now this is Friday and Saturday, May 17th and 18th. This is supposed to be the second largest alien festival in the U.S. This is at 310 Northeast Evans Street, McMinnville, Oregon. Anyway, the people that they have scheduled to be there is Nick Pope, Administrator, Investigator of the British Ministry of Defense UFO Project, former. And then, of course, you have George Knapp, who he hosts Coast to Coast AM on Sunday nights, and he also does stuff locally in Las Vegas. You also have Jim Sparks, multiple abductee experimenter, Linda Moulton Howe. She does earthfiles.com. I think it was earthfiles.com, and she's an investigative reporter. Very good work. I've heard her once a month on Coast to Coast. And Peter Davenport. Of course, Peter Davenport runs the National UFO Reporting Center, and he's always on Coast to Coast as well. So you have some really good people that's going to be at the conference. The next convention is the 2013 Haunted America Conference, Friday and Saturday, June 21 and 22. This is at the Haunted Lincoln Theater in Decatur, Illinois. Probably mispronounced that. The conference will be at the Lincoln Theater at 241 North Main Street, Decatur, Illinois. Boy, I'm sure I got that wrong. Anyway, that's that one. Parafest 2013, September 6th, 7th, and 8th. The tickets are on sale now. The general admission, $25 for adults. There is also a pass for the entire weekend, $300 for the entire weekend. Now, this is also going to be, the entire event will be broadcast on live streaming video by Kevin DeMaria, Best Television Network, BTVN. Again, this is the 6th, 7th, 8th. The doors will open on 12 noon on Friday. Venting and Celebrities, Friday 12 noon through 9 p.m. Saturday 10 in the morning to 9, and Sunday 10 to 4. There will be a Macabre Fair Film Festival Friday and Saturday till 2 a.m. And there will be a bar that will be on Friday and Saturday night till close. So if you want to go and have a good time, this sounds like a good time, especially the bar. I don't mean a legal bar. But anyway, we have also something. Now this one's a little bit different. It's not a convention, but it is a place of destination that you might want to consider. This is the International Cryptozoology Museum. Now I didn't know that this existed, but the International Cryptozoology Museum in Portland, Maine. They say ours is the world's only cryptozoology museum. Visit our unique gem in the beautiful city of Portland, Maine. year-round. Join our nonprofit educational and scientific mission. Regular hours, Monday, noon to 4 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. They are open Sundays, noon to 3:30 p.m. They are closed on Tuesdays. Kids are $5, that's 12 and younger. And adults 13 and older, $7. That's a pretty good price. Now, I have no idea what they have there, but a cryptozoology museum, that does sound interesting. I know there's a few paranormal museums that talk about ghosts and stuff like that. And maybe one day we'll get a chance to actually go visit one and bring it to you guys. And that's it for conventions. Now this week we're going to review an older movie. This movie was actually made back in 1990-91. And it's called Jacob's Ladder. Now, it didn't get a lot of play in the theaters. I don't think a lot of people knew what to make of it. I remember seeing it myself in the theater with someone, and if you like movies with a bit of a twist in them, like The Sixth Sense, then you're going to like this movie. It stars Tim Robbins, Elizabeth Pena, and the movie is rated R, runs about 115 minutes, and it's basically about a man who he goes to Vietnam to fight, and he's exposed to something, and it actually bothers him even after he leaves Vietnam, and he's tortured, and he sees things, but he keeps jumping from one era to another, and he doesn't know which one's real, which one's not. And it's really, really a good movie, and it has you wondering which is real, what is not. And so I recommend Jacob's Ladder. If you have not had a chance to see it, I really recommend that as a paranormal movie to check out, because I did like it, and I liked it a lot, and I'm sorry it didn't get the play that it should have had all those years ago. Check it out, Jacob's Ladder, Tim Robbins. Okay, so to close out this segment, the summer is slowly approaching. The weather's getting better. I know that there's still a lot of issues going back east and southwest with flooding and snow and stuff like that. But as time goes by, the weather's going to get real nice, and people are going to be able to get out to do investigations at homes and so on. Or if you're into cryptozoology, I know there's people going to up in Canada, Northwest United States, to do some Bigfoot hunting and stuff like that. So, if there's something that you want to make sure to get out there, contact Worldwide Paranormal Network. They would be more than happy to help you get the word out. You also can contact me through Big Time Paranormal on Facebook. I am always looking for stories. I'm always there to help you guys to advertise whatever it is that you need advertised. And remember, it's not just the investigations, but books, any kind of event, movies, anything. I mean, we are here to be a service to you. It's not just about us, it's about you guys. And this network and myself would not be here without you guys. It's important that you always remember that we are your resource. So, again, thank you, Worldwide Paranormal Network. Kim and Cami, I appreciate everything you guys do. Thank you very much to all of you for coming over to Big Time Paranormal. I'm almost at 700 likes. I am really excited about that. That means that, I don't know what it means. It just means 700 likes. But please come over and check it out. Remember, today is your day. Go out, make it happen, okay? I love you guys. See you next week.